Turning Red is Pixar's latest movie that just came out on Disney Plus exclusively. It's kind of their straight-to-video version, I guess. It's about a young girl coming of age and figuring out who she is. Very similar to Inside Out and Brave. It's very similar to Brave, especially because it explores the relationship between a young girl and her mother. At the end of Brave, we're left with Merida coming to terms with the fact that maturity has certain responsibilities. Eventually, Merida comes to terms with that. Turning Red, in a lot of ways, picks it up where that left off.
I'm officially a grown-up, at least according to the Toronto Transit Commission.
Good for you.
Maylin knows that she has responsibilities. She states at the beginning that part of growing up means you have your chores to do and you have things that you're responsible for. But over the course of this story, she starts to discover her own identity.
Abby, hit me.
And many times that is at odds with her family and what she has come to know and understand.
What's going on, honey? Are you sick? Is it a fever? A stomachache? Chills? Constipation?
Wait, is it that? Did the red peony bloom?
No! Maybe?
I think the only downside to the story is that there are some undertones of the reject tradition theme. But at the same time, the good here is that becoming yourself does mean having to let go of your family sometimes and set out on your own. So I think they tell that story really well. It's also set in 2002 very well with the boy bands and the Tamagotchis, and it's a little weird to me that 2002 now qualifies as a period piece. Overall, this is a pretty solid entry in Pixar's repertoire. It's a very good idea that is pretty predictable a lot of the time. Even though the message is pretty on the nose, it is still entertaining. This was also the first feature film directorial debut of Domi Shi, who directed the 2018 short Bao a few years ago. And this didn't follow the typical Pixar model of having the brain trust review it and tweaking it to no end. It ended up being a much more personal story that she rushed through intentionally, producing it after her initial pitch so that it was closer to the initial idea without changing too much, and her fear was that it would lose too much of that originality. And I think that paid off. It's not Pixar's worst movie, but I'd probably put it in the lower third.